Hi, Kathy. Thanks for coming back into the office. It's good to see you again. I'm going to describe what I found with my exam and after taking your history. And I have a spine here to demonstrate some of my points about what I've seen with you in particular, what a healthy spine basically is supposed to look like, the function of the nervous system. We talked a little bit about that the first time you were here. And basically what I can do for you and how I can better your overall, the function of your nervous system and your health in general. So basically, your history you didn't present in your history with much in the way of trauma or disease, any disease processes, as you know, or even family history so much. But you did present with basically an overall loss of curvature in pretty much your entire spine. So what has happened, you've been talking a lot about low back pain, and what has happened is this curve here that in a healthy spine can be up to 40 degrees. Where you're at is you've basically flattened out your lumbar spine. Your coccyx, the bottom bone in your spine, is basically tucked under. So you have a very flat lumbar spine. And that, to me, that explains your lower back pain, since these joints right here are taking all of the force that when you walk, the force is supposed to dissipate as the force comes up your legs. It's supposed to go into a curve and then continue traveling along these curve lines. So when you have a flattened spine, there's literally nowhere for the force to go. So it keeps on hitting the same joints over and over. And furthermore, the purpose of the spine, other than dissipating forces that come into your body, is so that the nerves between the vertebrae can have a full flow, right? So it's like one of the things chiropractors talk about often is, imagine having a garden hose that was twisted, right? And so when you turn the hose on, even if you turn it on full force, it's only a few drops are coming out because it's all the water is being trapped in that kinked hose. So therefore, all these nerves that go to corresponding organs to tell the body what you need in any particular moment, those messages just aren't getting there. So, and even though you're not presenting with any kind of organ problems, down the line, that wouldn't surprise me if that started to happen because of what I found. And the other thing I also talk about, like a bicycle. If you have an old bike, rusty tires, maybe the tires are a little flat, one of the brakes works, the lights don't work, right? It's compromised in its integrity. So can you get across town on that bike? Sure you can, but it would probably take longer. The ride wouldn't be so enjoyable. It's more likely that if you had to brake quicker, that you could be in harm's way more because only one of the brakes worked and it didn't work so great. So it's more a function of, like, using that analogy with your spine and some of the integrity being lost. You are functional, but you're not only are you physiologically and neurologically compromised, but the quality of your life can suffer too, because when you're in pain, sometimes that's all you can think about. And so, and it's the same with your cervical spine and your neck. This is pretty much flattened out too. You have a pretty flat spine overall. And you did present with some decreased lung capacity, which doesn't surprise me either, as the whole physiology is clamping into the diaphragm, the big muscle at the bottom of the rib cage. Everything is just pretty much being compromised. So your breathing isn't as full and expansive as it could be. I know for sure I can help you. Absolutely. I've seen it time and time again that people start to get these nice curves come back, and their pain starts going away, and they start breathing better, and then they tell their friends to come in because they didn't even realize that. Often people will say it's just because they're getting older, and that's not true. I mean, there might be some of that happening, some degenerative processes happening through age, but mainly if you don't have the integrity of the curves, you've got some specific vertebral things going on, but mainly my biggest concern is that you've lost these curves. So I know for sure I can help you. And one of the reasons I became a chiropractor in the first place is because my chiropractor helped me so much that I wanted to make it a career and a lifestyle of mine. So the other thing is, I wanted to talk to you about what would your schedule look like? I've heard some people say, even you said on your first visit, am I going to have to come in? Am I going to have to live in your office? Am I going to have to be here 4 times a week? And what I like to say about that is, I like my practice members to really participate to the degree that they want to. My recommendation in the beginning is 3 times a week for a month, and then to start trailing that down to 2 times a week, and then we can get more into maintenance care. So my recommendation is 3 times a week. The second month, 2 times a week. And after that second month, sometimes 6 weeks to 6 to 8 weeks, depending on what I see, we would have a reevaluation and another exam just to see what has changed and where you're at with care, and to really keep assessing your progress and having you be on board with where we're at and where we're going. So, and this, still to me is exciting because I get to just be with you along this journey, and that's one of the reasons I do this. So I look forward to reevals to really see what we've done in a short period of time. Think about 6 weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago. So in 6 weeks from now, I am confident that we could have a big change in your physiology and the quality of your life. The other thing, again, is with the nervous system, it just rules everything. So there's nerves everywhere. There's nerves throughout every vertebrae, and these nerves go everywhere in your body. So without these nerves, you don't have any motor function. You don't even have a thought. You don't have an emotion. The nerves run the show. And as a chiropractor, that's my job, to make sure that your nervous system is freed up so that it can do its job. And what else? Payment plan. So I have a few different options that my assistant will go over with you, and there's a few different options on a few different levels, which range from a needs-based payment plan depending on what people can really afford, and also different packages depending on either when you get paid or payment plans. We can also do single visits, just depending on what you need and what you're looking for. So anyhow, we'll end for today, and hopefully you'll be making your next appointment at the front desk. And I think given everything that you're faced with, I'm very hopeful that you're going to get excellent results, and I look forward to being your partner in your and hopefully your family's health and wellness. Thank you.